forward. When you realize that you're going to die for the first time, it can be a little bit scary. Most people know they're going to die. Some people think they might be able to escape it. We'll see how that goes for them. But most people think that they are mortal. Fine, but when was the last time you really acknowledged it? I don't mean just accepted that it's true. I mean sat down for 20 minutes and thought about nothing other than your own mortality and really tried to comprehend what it means that one day you will not exist. I did this once when I was a teenager, and I don't think I've ever done it since, partly because it scared the absolute living out of me. These days I'm a little more agnostic about the nature of mind and the existence of God and the afterlife, and so I suppose that provides me with some comfort, but I must say that when it comes to existential crises, it doesn't get much more straightforward than realizing that your time is limited on this planet. Having said that, some people do think that the shortness of life is what gives it its meaning. They say that if life were infinitely long, then every day would be meaningless. It's like having infinite money in your bank account. What's $1 to you? It's meaningless. It has no value, essentially. Whereas if you've only got $100 in your bank account, then $1 can be quite a lot of money to you. So the acknowledgement of death may lead to an existential crisis, but it may also lead to a recognition of the very thing that gives life meaning in the first place.
Okay, so here's what's interesting about Alex. He admits that if you're an atheist, it's a pretty scary thought. What actually happens when you die? The idea of life just ending is disturbing. I notice, though, that some atheists don't really want to face that. They go, oh, it's wonderful, but honestly, I'm not sure they've dug deep enough into what that really means. Unlike Alex, who seems to have wrestled with it quite seriously. Now, whether you're an atheist, agnostic, or a Christian, death is coming for us all. It's just inevitable. The difference lies in how you interpret it. For atheists or agnostics, you just stop existing. Your memories, your work, your money, everything is gone. There's no comfort. There's no sense of something more. You might say, well, at least our contributions help future generations. But then they too will stop existing. And the cycle repeats. It can feel futile, like an endless loop of progress without any ultimate anchor, And if the future of tech somehow lets us store consciousness, then we hit another dilemma. Does life lose its value if it never ends? And we don't even know what consciousness really is, so we might be chasing a mystery we can't solve. Let's look at death itself. People often say death gives life meaning, and Alex touches on that idea. Sure, maybe it does, at least in a fleeting sense. But is that enough if there's no God? In a purely atheistic view, you can create your own meaning, which is what folks like Jean-Paul Sartre or Albert Camus talks about. That can be liberating, but also leads to a moral ambiguity. If everything is up for grabs, you risk chaos. Who's to say one moral code is better than another? Without a transcendent standard, it's all relative and can spin out of control. History has shown us that entire regimes have twisted the greater good to justify terrible evils. And that's a grim result of people inventing their own moral frameworks without any higher reference point. So if someone wants absolute assurance that wrongs will be made right, or that there's more beyond the grave, atheism won't deliver that. It can't, by definition. Many atheists come up against what Camus called the absurd, the tension between our longing for meaning in an apparently indifferent universe. Camus suggests rebelling against meaninglessness by living life to the fullest anyway. But again, if you push make your own meaning too far, you risk losing any kind of universal moral floor. That's where things can get catastrophic when my meaning trumps universal human dignity. Some people might go the emphatic route, but others might plunge into nihilism or even cruelty. There's no ultimate rule book telling anyone to stop. Anyway, that's why I think it's essential to dive into what death means from each perspective. If there's truly nothing after, that changes everything about how you live now. For me, that's also why I find a Christian viewpoint compelling. There's a transcendent anchor that holds morality and meaning together, even in the face of death. If you enjoyed this video or have questions, hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.